In 1840, the Hull and Selby Railway opened the first railway line into Hull, terminating at a passenger and goods terminal Manor House Street station, adjacent to the Humber Dock near the Old Town. Subsequently, the Hull and Selby Railway entered into working arrangements with the Manchester and Leeds Railway and then the York and North Midland Railway. In 1845, an Act of Parliament enabled the York and North Midland or the Manchester and Leeds to take a lease on the company with an option to buy the line at a later date. Only the York and North Midland was subsequently active. In 1846, the Hull and Selby competed with the Bridlington branch, which connected from a junction at Dairycoats near Hull to a line the York and North Midland Railway was building from Bridlington to Seamer, connecting to its York and Scarborough line, forming the railway route from Hull to Scarborough on the east coast. In 1846, the York and North Midland and Manchester and Leeds Railways began proceedings to create a new terminal station and connected the branch line in Hull. The York and North Midland Act of 1847 was subsequently passed. The new station had taken advantage of being better situated for travellers and allowed the old station to be used exclusively for freight traffic. In addition, the Hull and Selby Company were keen to attract investment to the new station from the leasehold holders, and the capital investment was likely to increase the permanence of a relationship with the leasers. The branches to the station were constructed off the Bridlington branch, a branch turning north-east close to the lines crossing on the Hessel Road, and a branch turning south-east into Cottingham Junction near the Haverflats farm. The two branches met at a junction half a mile roughly west of the new station. In addition, a new connecting cord was made from the Hull and Selby line to the Bridlington branch, allowing direct through running from the west into the new station. The station was located on the western edge of the growing Georgian town and took its name from Paragon Street. Contracts for construction had been signed by early 1847 before the bill had been formally passed. The station opened in 1847 without any notable ceremony. The station and hotel were both in an Italian Renaissance style with a Doric and Ionic order elements. The facades show inspirations from the interior courtyard for the Palazzo Farnese. The main station building was aligned east to west to south of the tracks facing onto Alderby Road. A two-storey centrally located booking hall had entered via a small port course and flanked by 11 bay-wide single-storey wings, with two-storey three-bay buildings on either end, one a parcels office, the other a station master's house. The train shed contained 5 tracks and 2 platforms, each 30 foot, covered by a 3-span iron roof. The station site was nearly 2.5 acres. The hotel was in a similar style to the station, located at the eastern end of the station with its main facade and the entrance facing east. It was completed in 1849. As a 3-storey building, 9 bays wide, an area 120 by 130 feet. The centre of the building contained a 650-foot square light well with ground glass roof. Architect for both buildings was G.T. Andrews, and it represented his last major commission. The station and hotel were described by some contemporaries as Hudson's Folly, who thought the scale of the development too great. The station was the largest in England to that time associated with a railway station. By the time the completion of the station and hotel, George Hudson, chairman of the York and Midland, was in disgrace after his fraudulent dealings had been discovered. The hotel's official opening ceremony took place on the 6th of November 1851. Additional facilities at the station also included a locomotive house on the west end of the north side of the main shed, a coal depot on the northwest, and a turntable. A new engine shed had been constructed in the 1860s and a 20-engine shed in the mid-1870s. In 1853, Queen Victoria visited the town, and the use of the station and hotel given to the corporation as the accommodation of the royal party. A throne room was created on the first floor, and the royal household accommodated on the second. The royal party included the Queen, Albert, the Prince Consort, and 5 royal children, arriving on the royal train on the 13th of October 1853 at Paragon Station. The visit concluded with a dinner at the hotel on the 14th of October. In 1853, the Victoria Dock branch had been opened into Hull. connecting the Victoria Dock with a number of stations in Hull on a circular route around the outskirts of the town. The line connected to the existing network at junctions half a mile west of the station. This line was doubled in the mid-1864 and brought more trains into Paragon. From the Hull and Hornsey Railway, which opened in 1864, the Hull and Holderness Railway, which opened in 1854 via connecting cord to the Victoria Dock branch line. Further developments in the 1860s created additional and shortened routes into Paragon. The York to Beverley line was completed in 1865 with the opening of the Market Weighton to Beverley section. The Hull and Doncaster branch to South Yorkshire in 1869, and the line to Leeds extension was completed, extending the line from Hull to Leeds to the city centre, allowing through running westward. In 1873, the Manchester, Sheffield and Lincolnshire Railway obtained running powers into Hull, and passenger trains for that company running into Paragon from August. In 1898 and 1899, the Hull and Barnsley Railway and the North East Railway began work towards constructing a joint dock in Hull. As part of a cooperation between the two companies, the HBR gave the NER running powers over its line into Hull. The NER allowed the HBR to run into and use Paragon Station. The growth of traffic was accommodated in the mid-1870s by adding a third middle platform to the train shed. The outer platforms were also lengthened beyond the shed and the short bay platforms added to each side. The cross platform was widened at the expense of a length for the main platforms. The booking office and parcel offices swapped positions, and the middle portico walls to create a greater enclosed space. In 1884 and 1885, the hotel was also expanded, adding rooms at the first floor level by extending westward across the concourse entrance. In 1887, the station canopy was also added over the ends of the departure platform, which extended beyond the shed. In addition to the standard facilities, the increased emigration to the United States in the 19th century led to the construction of an emigrant station southwest of the main station. In part due to concerns over public health dangers such as cholera, the station had enabled more efficient handling of larger number of emigrants. The station rooms were built in 1871 to the design of Thomas Prosser and extended 1881. Because of its historical significance, the building is now Grade 2 listed. An extensive enlargement of the station was authorised by the North East Railway Board in 1897 with an extension programme. The station's engine shed facilities were transferred to a new site at Botanic Gardens. The transfer was completed by 1901, and in 1902 work began on rebuilding the station, with the expansion of the site northwards towards Collier Street, which required purchases and demolition of houses south of the street. The main station was enlarged to the design of NER architect William Bell. The extension included a new 5-span steel platform roof with a 2-span roof over the concourse, built by the Cleveland Bridge and Engineering Company, with the offices resited to the east end of the station facing the station concourse, together with the adjacent hotel. Half of the office spaces were taken up by tiled booking office with a wooden booking windows and architectural detailing in faience. The booking office's main entrance faced Paragon Square, accessed under a large iron-made port course. The enlarged station opened on the 12th of December 1904, and an additional range of buildings were built in 1908 to the southeast of the station to provide stock rooms for the hotel. As built, the station had 9 platforms under the 4 southernmost spans of the roof. The northernmost span had facilities for special goods, such as cars and horses, and was screened off from the other 4. It was served by Platform 1, known as the fish dock or fish platform, which was also used for fish. In the southern bays, platforms in 1887 platform roof were retained for a total of 14 passenger platforms. Platforms 1 to 9 also received low-level roofs outside the main shed. The original station offices were retained and used as waiting rooms and parcel offices. In 1904, the station's signalling system was converted to electro-pneumatic power signalling system. The station had 2 signal boxes. Paragon Station Box was a 143 lever box and located at the ends of platforms 1 and 2, and Park Street Box with 179 levers located 714 feet west of the station. In World War I, the station hosted a rest station and canteen for servicemen, and on the 5th of March 1916, during a World War I Zeppelin raid, it killed 17 people. A bomb blast blew out the glass of the station roof. From 1924, passengers trains running from the Hull and Barnsley line became able to run into Paragon Station with the construction of the connecting cord between the NER and HBR networks in northwest Hull. The HBR Cannon Street station closed in the same year. On the 14th of February 1927, it was the site of a head-on train collision in which 12 passengers were killed and 24 seriously injured, caused by a signalling error. In 1931 and 1932, the hotel was internally revamped and expanded by the addition of an extra story of rooms on the roof, replacing staff bedrooms, and by cement-rendered wing on either side of the main entrance. An Art Deco entrance on the station concourse was also added. A railway museum was established by Hull Museum directors Thomas Shepherd in the station in 1933. In 1935, the decision was made to re-signal the station and its approaches, replacing the 1904 electro-pneumatic power signalling system with an electrically operated system. Park Street and Paragon Street signal boxes were to be replaced with a signal box. The running lines out of the station, including those controlled by the West Parade signal box, were to be track-circuited. The system was an early British example of electrical interlocking. 48 points were controlled and used fun switches in the signal box. Power supply was from the Hull Corporation at 400 volts 50 Hertz free phase, with a backup generator powered by 28 horsepower oil engine. The main external system was electrified 110 volt AC with shunt signals at 100 or 55 volt AC. The point motors, previously electro-pneumatically operated, were retained, with a 50 cubic feet per hour, 80 pounds per square inch max pressure compressor system, duplicated for redundancy. Signalling was electric lamp blacklit, and the Westinghouse Brake and Signal Company Limited was the main supplier of the equipment. A new signal box was also installed at LER Type 13, resembling the architectural design the Southern Railway's streamlined modern signal boxes with square corners. During the Hull Blitz in 1941, the station received direct hits on the night of 7th of May, with many incendiary bombs hitting the roof. The signal box was badly damaged when a parachute mine exploded nearby. During the same night, the station's small railway museum was destroyed by a fire. The main entrance canopy was replaced by an office building, Paragon House, in 1962. The building was originally used as regional headquarters for British Rail, but was unused in later years. In 1965, the Newington branch, which had been used by trains running from the west of Hull to Bridlington and beyond, was closed and replaced by a new cord near Victoria Crossing. The roof sheltering platforms 1 to 9 outside the main shed was also removed in the 1970s. In the 1980s, a new travel centre was added to the station concourse. The body of the building was faced with light sandstone and lighting via semicircular arch windows, with an approximate barrel roof skylight. In the same period, a celestial roofed waiting room was added at the head of the station platforms, an architectural homage to both Victorian train sheds and Celestore carriages. A privatisation of British Transport hotels in the 1980s, the Royal Station Hotel was renamed the Royal Hotel. In 1990, the hotel was then gutted by fire. The interior was rebuilt and the hotel reopened in 1992. In 2000, outline planning permission was given for a transport interchange and shopping centre and leisure complex near Furness Way, Hull, and in 2001, planning documents were submitted for the works on the 42-acre site, including a new shopping arcade development incorporating a hotel and car parking facilities, a transport interchange incorporating the station, as well as landscaping, settling out the streets and the petrol station and the housing development. The development also included new facilities for the Hull Truck Theatre and the Albemarle Music Centre. The shopping development is known as St Stephen's Shopping Centre, and the interchange was fully opened on the 16th of September 2007. Features of the railway station from 2007 redevelopment include a new canopy for the Furness Way entrance, the Paragon House office block being demolished for part of the redevelopment, and the former station booking office area restored, and in 2009 opened as a community area. From 2009, a mobility scooter hire service was provided at the station, and the interior of the booking office is used as a branch of W.H. Smith's. The new transport interchange was officially opened by the Queen and Duke of Edinburgh when they unveiled a plaque on the 5th of March 2009 after arriving at the station on a Royal train. A £65,000 £100 bronze statue of Hull resident Pope Philip Larkin by Martin Jenkins was unveiled on the concourse of Hull Paragon Interchange on the 2nd of December 2010, marking the 25th anniversary of the poet's death. The statue was located near the entrance of the Station Hotel, a favoured watering place of the poet. In 2011, an additional 5 slate roundels containing the inscriptions of Larkin's poems was installed in the floor around the statue, and in 2012 a memorial bench was installed around the pillar of the nearby statue. In 2017, a full-size model of Gypsy Moth aircraft used by Amy Jo Johnson to fly solo from Britain to Australia, created over a 6-month period by inmates at Hull Prison, was put on display at the station. This remained throughout the City of Culture, but was moved to the adjacent St Stephen's Shopping Centre in March of 2018. The station underwent a revamp in 2017 with a £1.4 million investment, providing a new waiting area and more retail units. So we are going to get started here at Hull Paragon with the arrival of 158907, terminating with a northern service off Halifax. Working under the head code 5H05 from Beverley, working empty stock, is 802303. Next out to depart is 155343, working the 1901 Northern service from York through to Bridlington. Next train out to depart is 185113, working the 1903 Transpennine Express service through to Manchester Piccadilly. Next up, arriving to terminate with a northern service off of Bridlington will be 155342. Up next for departure is 802303, departing with the 1908 Hull train service through to London King's Cross. Arriving next to terminate with a northern service off of Doncaster is 158795. One in, one out now, with the arrival of 170.459 and the departure of 158.907. Working the 1923 Northern service from Sheffield through to Scarborough and the 1915 Northern service through to Halifax, respectively. Next out to arrive is 170.457, working the 1926 Northern service from Scarborough through to Sheffield. Arriving to terminate with a Transpennine Express service off of Manchester Victoria is 185.103 and 185.116. With the crew changed ends and the green light ready to go, 170.459 heads off for Scarborough. And itself all turned around and ready to go, 170.457 heads off for Sheffield.
Oh, that sounds mega!
Up next to arrive is 155.345, working the 1945 Northern service from Bridlington through to York. And with the crew changed ends and the green light received, 155.345 heads off for York. Up next to depart is 158.795, working the 1950 Northern service through to Doncaster. Next in to arrive is 155.341, working the 1958 Northern service from York through to Bridlington. And your final train of the session will be 800-107, terminating with an LNER resumer service off London King's Cross. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed what you saw, click on the 2 videos here at the end screen. Helps out the channel. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you are new and got this far. And we'll see you all in the next video, folks, wherever that may take us. We'll see you then, folks.